Happy birthday, Nick.
Thank you.
21 again?
30. 35.
You're not 30. How was your birthday?
It was good. It was really good. Some family time, and had a lot of people reach out to me, wish me happy birthday, which always means a lot. Some old friends in particular, one we have on the show here today. Everybody welcome Andy.
Thanks for having me, guys. Appreciate
Hi,
it.
Andy.
Why don't you introduce yourself to the class?
Sure. My name is Andy. I've been friends with Nick since high school. Vern, probably like 2018, 17.
Something like that, yeah.
Born and raised around here. Went to college around here. Went to college for economics, which I always joke about that I've only used that to argue with people on Facebook. So after college, when I trimmed down my friends list from like 2,000 to 300, I don't use my degree anymore at all. So that's now I work doing piping and steel. So I really don't use it at all. But Nick, one thing that was on my mind as I came over here, when we were in high school and we would just bum around in your car
All the time.
and then we would stop for food and get some gas, and your car burned oil, so we buy a quart of oil here and there, and then we would burn more gas and go get food again. And I thought, when we were young, we wasted a lot of money.
We lived lavishly. Yes.
And then, which, I mean, Nicky Willie's Pizza was pretty good. They closed now, years ago, in fact. It got me thinking, like, as I'm scrolling through Facebook, LinkedIn, looking at the data about how salaries are now versus years ago, the cost of housing, school, groceries, blah, 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 blah. And while I agree with all of that, and it's factual, of course, but I just can't help but think, like, you know what? It's so easy to spend money.
So easy.
Like, all of us have this supercomputer in our pocket that we click a button, we go to Amazon Prime, we search, like, you can be at a friend's house and like, oh, what's that? That's cool. Hold on. Add to cart. Okay, it'll be at my house tomorrow. It's so easy to spend money. And you got people who get a new phone every year, and they got these cell phone bills that are hundreds a month. And then you're paying for Netflix, Prime, Hulu, Peacock, the ABCs of streaming, right? And I just can't help but think it's so easy to spend money, and, like, people don't like to cook at home anymore, probably because they can't. So then they dine out, and then they go out for lunch, and that's $15 a day. Then you go get dinner on a Tuesday because there's a deal on wings, and then you go on Thursday because they got a special on this and this and this, or maybe you join a dart league and you do that, and then you're getting beers and maybe some cocktails, and then $80 gone. Mm-hmm. And I just can't help but think, like, okay, the data's there. I agree. But can we talk about our spending a bit?
Yeah, that's one thing I remember from growing up, too, is my parents, they taught me about money with cash. Not a credit card or debit card. I mean, eventually. But and when it started, it was just cash, because it was always, you could count it. It was always top of mind. The stuff we have now is out of sight, out of mind.
You physically had to hand over the cash, and you had less in change.
Yeah, like when you take out that 50, right? And you, like, it's like, here's a nice crisp 50. And maybe it's just me, or like maybe 50s just aren't used, but anytime I have a 50, it's like it's brand new. It's beautiful.
You don't see many.
Exactly. And then, like, I hand it over, right? And then I get back $3.47 and change. I'm like, oh, my crisp 50, it's gone.
You got a pocket full of heavy change.
So
Man, I felt that, and now I got 47 cents in my pocket that's gonna fall on the floor of my truck, and I'll pick up in a year. It's like, ugh. So, like, but on the other side, you just pull out a card, you tap it now, right? You don't even swipe it anymore. Like if your card has a chip and you swipe it, no. Come on. So now you tap it, and there's just no emotion there, because, like, you don't see it. It's not your money. But speaking of that, the one thing that I remember my dad teaching me about credit versus debit cards, and he started this with, you have to make sure that if you use a credit card, it's paid off on time and paid in full. Mm-hmm. And he's like, now, it's somebody else's money. So if that card is lost or stolen or there's fraud, it's their money. not yours. You call it in, you go online, you click fraud or dispute, right? And it's boom, locked down. And that happened to me probably around like 2019. I was on the site and I was looking at, I'm like, yep, I bought gas, I did this and this. I like $300 that. I'm like, what in the heck? And at first I was like, I don't think so, but I think this was around the time that my wife and I were booking like wedding stuff. So the money's just going out the door, right? But most of that was checks.
Yeah.
I saw this charge and I'm like, it's from Miami, Florida. I was like, okay, maybe it was billed through a merchant that's based out of there. I'm like,
We live nowhere near there.
but still, you wish we did.
Oh, yeah.
But still, I was like, I don't remember making a $300 purchase on X date, right? So I called them, and this guy answered, and it was a auto parts store. And I was like, hey, I have a charge on my card. And he's like, yeah, what's your question? I'm like, can you look up and see when this happened? Because I'm in Wisconsin. And he was like, oh, yeah, it happened in store. I'm like, okay. That wasn't me. He's like, you sure? I'm like, buddy, I was not in Miami, Florida 3 days ago. I wish I was.
I'm positive.
But I was not there. So I just reported it, and my card was instantly locked down. That payment was refunded, and I don't have to do anything. It was just shut down, and I got a new card mailed in like a couple days. Just boom, done. Versus, and my dad said, which I don't have any experience with this, but he said if that were to happen on your debit card, you have to work a little bit harder because it's your money. And I don't know if that's true or not because it's never happened, and I hope it never does, of course. But what he said makes total sense.
There's a lot of fraud protection with a lot of credit cards now, or pretty much all of them. Oh, just about every house you drive by now has Amazon packages out on the front door at some point during the day.
It's too
Almost
darn
every
easy.
day. Yeah.
So easy.
You get stuff same day now in larger metros.
Yeah, which, I mean, there's a aspect of that where I'm not against it, and I'll explain that. So we just moved, and now we live further east. So it's not a quick drive to the store to get bathroom stuff, toothpaste, shampoo, blah, blah, blah. And like either way, you're going to buy that from Target, Walmart, Walgreens,
Wherever.
Amazon, right? So why should I waste my time and my gas going to the store when I can buy it on Amazon for the same price and it's at my door in a day or two? When like people say, oh, well, you should buy from a local business. Okay, show me a mom and pop shop that is selling Colgate toothpaste and I will go there and buy it. Keep in mind,
Somewhat competitively priced too.
true, but keep in mind, even these big stores are still employing local people too. As I got older and we had kids and we started to pay for daycare, and you watch the $800 a month, $1,000 a month, $1,500 a month, the months where both my kids were under 2, so I'm in the highest cost,
Oh,
and it's a
man.
5-week month. When I saw that daycare bill, I was like, ugh, it just makes you want to vomit, right? But then I thought, man, you know what? Like, I was mad at myself because I thought I have this large expense. I don't want it, of course, but it is what it is. It's how it goes. I'm able to pay it every month and on time. And I just couldn't help but like be a little bit mad at myself and think, dang it. From the time I got out of college in 2016 until I had my first kid in 2021, I could have been putting away above what I do for work stuff. Now it's like, man, I'm able to swing $800 a month on daycare. I could have been doing that for the last 4 or 5 years into a IRA or just something that like made me think like, Nick, when we were in school, there was a class, PFM, right? Personal finance.
Yeah. Good class.
Management, which was fun, but it was from what I recall, like that's what it was. It was fun. It was like,
Exactly.
hey, we're gonna buy stocks and see which kid here has the best growth on their stock, and you get, Monopoly cash, and you get $1,000 to buy stocks, right? Oh, I made $8 on Apple, right? But like they didn't really teach you. And again, this is from what I can remember. It was a decade ago plus now. Well, college was a
We don't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Nick just turned
30.
25, so plus 10 minus 5 plus 5.
Still raise a little cane with the boys.
I actually have some gray hairs, and I have a haircut next week, and on my way here, I was like, man, I hope their cameras don't pick up my gray hair. It's in my beard now and everything, and I'm only 32, man. Life is tough. I don't remember learning about like a Roth IRA or like, hey, when you're out of school and you get a job, you're often offered a 401k. Here's what that means. I don't want to say that they never taught it, but I don't remember that. And I think if people come out of high school and they choose to work, and I'm not saying that you have to know exactly what you want to do right out of school, because it's just not possible, right? Just having like a good baseline as to like, what should I do with my money? You know, like if you can start at like that age, even doing $50 a month in a Roth, you are paving the way for just a much better start than most of your peers. It's not a lot of money. $50 a month, like
Pretty
that's
easy to spend $50.
It's very easy to spend $50. If I go out to eat 2 less times this month, I will save $100 a month. Roth IRA, put it in there. Just start somewhere. And if you don't know where to start, call your bank. Ask a friend, your parents, even.
There's so many resources online. I mean, you can Google it and get more information than you can digest in a day.
Yeah, this reminds me a lot of last episode, actually, when Michael brought up Rich Dad, Poor Dad. If you haven't read the book yet, please do. Super informative. But one of the things it talked about was paying yourself first. And paying yourself first is like investing in your finances, your future, making those investments.
Puts the pressure on, too. Holds yourself accountable.
You should have a budget, or like I have to pay, mortgage, house, blah, blah, and then I'm going to pay myself. That's in your budget, right? Speaking about being young and putting away cash, we're not very young anymore. 30 came up on us soon. I'm 32 now. I turned 32 in November.
Crazy how quickly you passed me.
What was crazy is that year 31 of my life, between just the year that we had with kids stuff, building the house, doing, the camping trips, and just all of that stuff, but like watching your little kids grow just makes your timeline go faster.
It's wild.
You just turned 35 and when 30. Okay, we'll go with that, folks. Blow them up in the comments. But when you and I were last, I don't remember if it was this year or the year before. You were talking about how you work out and such, and you made more changes and such. You were very happy. So
yeah,
tell me about that a bit.
Yeah, as I mentioned on this podcast a couple of times, I started, and that was half the battle. Quickly found out that just doing it, though, wasn't hitting all the right areas. So did some research, came up with a plan. But overall, it's made a huge difference in my life. Not just like the energy, but the mental health. I struggle with the winters here. Everybody knows I hate the winters, but working out really improved my outlook and made me feel better. I got more energy to play with the kids. I think time is the biggest issue I'm having right now, and I tend to work out at nights. But I hear you are on quite the schedule yourself.
I also worked out at nighttime, and it just got harder as my kids got older. When they were, babies through probably like age 2, bedtime was at 7 o'clock ish.
Yep.
That would mean I could get to the gym by like 7:20, 7:30 ish. And then as they got older, bedtime got later, which means now they're in bed at 7:30, 8 o'clock. Sometimes bedtime doesn't always go well.
Yeah, right.
You got toddlers at home, and just based on their mood, if they took a nap, what they had for dinner, how their day was, there's just a lot of variables that can make bedtime very enjoyable or
not.
an absolute tornado. So it just came to I was getting to the gym later, and my workouts just weren't good. You walk in, you get changed, you're starting to lift by like 8:45, and now suddenly it's 10 o'clock at night, and
It's
you're like,
bedtime.
oh man, it's 10 o'clock. I gotta go home, shower, and now it's like I'm in bed at 11 o'clock at night. I can't do this. What made me change was when we were building our house, and our builder, who's a awesome guy, he works out in the mornings, and he was like, that's just when I can. I looked at that and I thought, wow, here's a guy who's operating a business. He has a wife, 3 kids. Kids are in sports. He's busier than me, right? And I looked at that and I thought, he's older and he's busier. If he can do it, I can too. Mm-hmm. And so I started that, and it's been great. I mean, it's not always easy to wake up every day at 3:30. In fact, every day it kind of sucks. You're like, mid-dream, mid-REM. It's winter outside. You're just so comfortable, and then an alarm goes off, and you're like, oh.
Here we go.
So you get up at 3:30. What time do you get to the gym?
I'm usually there, so the gym opens at 4, and again, it's like kind of like alarm goes off at 3:30. I might hit snooze, and then I'm out of bed at 3:45. Or there's days where I'm just up and I'm ready to go. I would say I usually get to the gym between like 4:05 and like 4:10, and then I'm usually on my way back home at like 5:45. Shower, coffee, and then me and my wife start waking up kids. What helped me like stay in that habit was I saw this post on Instagram, and it was a guy talking about waking up early. He's like, you have to pick who's going to sacrifice. Is it going to be kids sacrifice time with dad, your wife sacrifices you at home, right? Or you lose some sleep? And I was like, that's a very good point. I would say now I'm usually in bed by 8:30. So for the listeners out there, it is past my bedtime. So yeah, I mean, come like Friday nights, after a week of doing that, it's very common that I sit down on my couch with my wife. It's 8 o'clock. I'm thinking we're gonna like start a show, catch up on season 2 of this or this, and guess what? I'm out in minutes.
How many days a week do you go to the gym?
I try to do Monday through Friday. Weekends I typically don't, simply because we're just busy with kids and that. And now my kids might nap, they might not. And if they nap from noon to 2 o'clock, if I go to the gym during that time, it's just a zoo. So so I'm kind of like, nah, I'll just take the weekend off.
So outside of working out, what else does your health and wellness look like?
It's gotten better. And there's a episode where Joe Rogan, where Ronnie Coleman was on it, and he asked him about that too. So I just copied it, and taste and deep ball and trampoline. No, I'm just kidding. I love Ronnie Coleman. Those videos of him lifting just will never get old. But no, so I would say over the last year and a half now, I just eat better. Just lean meat, simple carbs, and rice. Yeah, it's not always tasteful. Sometimes finding like a low calorie, sugar free condiment, they just simply don't taste as good, but you get over it. Half the time, like when I was in college, I was broke. I lived on ground meat and rice. So that's just a meal that like I've never gotten sick of, and I cover it in Frank's Red Hot. But now, because I'm older and I'm wiser and I have kids, I buy the Frank's Red Hot brand from Aldi. It's the same stuff, man. It's got to be. It is the same thing and half the price. And then I've always put a little bit of like light mayo in it, which probably sounds disgusting, but it just kind of helps to like have it all bind up. It's kind of weird, I know, but
What's your meat of choice?
I would say ground turkey. It's
really,
yeah, it's just what I like. I would say that I switch back and forth just based off of like what I buy. If I get sick of that, I'll go to chicken. And then I'll go to like, lean beef, or then I, drink less. I just overall got smarter about it, and I try not to overindulge. Yeah, Nick mentioned that you had started to take creatine. That made me perk up my ears, and that's probably when we started to talk about it, because I took that like since high school and through college, and I still do. Of course, I got off of it for a bit when I got lazy and a little chubby, but I'm back on it now. Maybe I'm still chubby too. I don't know, but you think about it, there's just a lot of new studies out there about just how good it is. So I'd be curious to hear from you as to how you feel, because I can't really say much because I've been on it for so long where I'm just like, it's great, dude, whatever. So what do you think about it?
I was hard to convince, but like you were saying, there's a lot of studies of the benefits of it, and it wasn't even so much for the working out that I'm taking it, but the mental clarity was a big thing. It does help your mood quite a bit. There's a lot of research done too with the benefits that it actually can provide to women too. My wife actually is taking creatine in her drink that she has every day and notices a huge benefit from it too. I just do the 5 grams a day. I did what's that phase where it's like
Loading phase.
Thank you. Yes, yeah. I did the loading phase. It was 10 grams a day for a week and then back to 5. So I've been on that for quite some time.
Do you feel a difference?
Oh, totally. And like I said, not so much working out, but definitely with my mind.
If you've watched our last episode, this isn't my wheelhouse, so I have a lot of questions.
Yeah. Well, two out of the 3 of us are on it, so I think it's time for you to jump on ship.
I will do my best, but I'm going to go off of knowledge I read when I was 15 years old when I was trying to convince my dad to buy me it. So, it did work, though. It did work.
So when you're loading, I'm assuming you mix it with water or something like that?
Yeah, so generally speaking, I don't know that I've seen it flavored, so it's just
it's tasteless.
Flavored white powder. It does take a little bit to dissolve, but it will, of course. You could mix it into whatever you want.
Instead of mixing into 8 ounces, I usually mix it into my 20 ounce.
A lot more water is better.
When you were doing 10 grams, did you still mix that in the same amount of water or just drink twice as much? Okay.
Yeah. Just keep shaking it, Vern. You'll be fine. Just shake the bottle.
Is it best to do it in the morning?
So there's mixed studies on this, actually, and it also depends on when you're working out and your dietary habits. So suggest you look into that separately.
I've always, I don't know when I used to take it in college. I went through a phase where I got sick of drinking it, so I bought it in pill form. So then I just kind of took it whenever. I would imagine that it's probably best to take it at the same time every day. I don't know if it's best to take it morning or after a workout, before bed. I would be willing to bet you that it's probably fine. Mm-hmm. Anytime once you reach saturation, you could mix it into a Gatorade or an iced tea. You really won't know it's in there.
I don't even notice it in my water, to be honest.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Everyone says that you can't taste something. I can always taste it. I don't know. Maybe it's in my head. Or you can't taste the difference between something that's healthy and not healthy. It's you can always tell the difference.
So I will agree with you if you dump it in, you shake it up, and it really isn't dissolved yet. I can taste it a little bit then, but it's not. It still isn't flavored. It's almost which this will
like a texture.
Yeah,
like you're drinking sand.
It's almost like your water is watered down, if that makes any sense.
No, but
I don't know. So that's just how I kind of look at it. And honestly, you would probably feel it on your teeth, right?
Actually, now that he says all this, if you don't shake it enough, that's all. Yeah, that's what I feel.
Yeah.
It's more of a sense thing rather than a taste, like a feeling rather than a taste.
That was a roundabout way of talking about that, but yeah, I would personally stick to creatine monohydrate. That is the most common, cheapest, and
pure,
studied form of it, and you can buy it just about anywhere. So I would just give it a whirl.
I might have to try it.
You should.
Do you take anything else?
I do start my day with a pre-workout. It's just what I've always done. Honestly, I'm not sure if it does anything anymore because I drink caffeine all day long. After the gym, I have protein and coffee, just black. It's how I like it because I'm a man. And then I usually have water and coffee all day long. Part of it is I just like coffee, but I ingest caffeine all day long. I don't know if it does anything anymore. There was a night where I thought I brewed a cup of decaf at home, and it was 8:15. It wasn't decaf. I dozed off in the chair. 10 minutes later, we were trying to watch a movie and I just crashed. And then how I found out that it wasn't decaf was I went to the gym the next day, got home, protein, coffee, opened up the Keurig, and I was like, honey, do you have coffee? No, why? I'm like, I had a regular last night. Maybe I need a break from caffeine. So something I should probably evaluate, and my wife working in the medical field is always on my butt about that and my caffeine intake, and I just tell her, honey, I work in the construction world. Caffeine is what I know. It's a food group.
Yeah, pretty much. I've actually cut back this week. I've tried to. I haven't been sleeping that well, and I intake tons and tons and tons of caffeine. I've been trying to cut back a little bit.
I would definitely evaluate looking into creatine and all of that. There's just a lot of good. It's just good for more than just your muscles. So maybe one day you could be an old guy getting a pump on the beach of Florida. Speaking of that, I often wonder what the real estate market is going to look like in areas like Florida or even here where people have cottages, hunting land, all of that. And, most of those items are owned by grandma, right? Well, grandma's getting old. And is it going to be willed down to kids? And just in my personal observations, in so many of these cases, there's a lot of siblings and not all of them get along. Some live out of state. Some haven't been to the family cottage in years. They don't really care anymore. They would want to just sell it and cash out and go. Others want to keep it, but that means that they would have to buy out their siblings, and they probably don't have the cash available to do that, which most people don't. If you're looking at a cottage that's anything decent on a good lake, you're looking at least $500,000 at least, and that's probably even low. So if you split that between 5 siblings and you're the only one that wants it, you got to pony up $400,000 to buy out your brothers and sisters. That's just crazy to me. So now, of course, it all of course could be based on how grandma's will is, and if it's in a trust, and if it's an asset of a trust, and how all of that works. I don't know that, but even still, somebody is going to be the head of that trust. Let's say it's the oldest, right? It's John. Okay, John is going to have to deal with the aches and pains of his siblings wanting to sell the cottage and get paid out. So at some point, John might just say, "Fine, as the head of the trust, I'm going to sell it." Fine. I don't know what that all looks like, but man, I just can't help but wonder with that older generation passing away, and there's a lot of them in Florida between that, hurricanes, and people can't afford to live there because of storms, insurance, this and this and this. I just can't help but think in the next 10 years when you go on Zillow and see all those red dots, it's just going to be like solid red. It's like you just bled all over it,
I actually dove into this a little bit because I was interested in getting away from the snow.
I can't believe that.
So I went to Zillow actually in Florida and just typed in for fun. I changed it to houses, and there's almost 4,000 just ready to go. All over the state, of course. I found one 2-bedroom, 2-bath, $200,000.
Yeah, no basement. What? No basement.
Still, it looked much nicer than my rental, which is also valued at $200,000. So, we may be seeing that happen already.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's different parts of Florida to avoid, but
I've heard from people that which too, right? It happens here. Everybody is biased towards where they're from, or oh, I would always go here and it's great. And I used to work with a guy who grew up in Palm Beach, West Palm Beach, or Cocoa Beach, one of the beaches on the East Coast, right? And I was talking to him about how me and my wife, when we went to Florida years ago, we road trip to Daytona Beach because I just wanted to see it, the track and stuff. And we got there, and I was like, man, this town's kind of dirty. And the beach had a lot of homeless there and stuff, and nothing was bad, but I was just kind of disappointed. I was expecting this to be Daytona 500. Here's all this stuff. Granted, it wasn't that week, right? But I was just kind of expecting more, which that can of course happen here, right? If you're on a map, a lake might look big and nice, but it's actually shallow. It's got weeds. It's got rocks in it. So I just think that you should definitely visit it before you would buy a place, of course, which you would, right?
Yeah, we spent our honeymoon actually house shopping in Tennessee, visiting different neighborhoods.
Oh yeah, that's right. You live there too. That's right. Yeah, I forgot about that, man. Life comes at you fast.
There's a lot of money out there. I think I don't think the prices will come down by any means. Like even if supply goes up, I just think the people who've had discipline or own a business or have been well off or worked hard are going to buy up a lot of these places, or at least the best ones. And the investment properties will get eaten up by somebody as well.
That will always happen, but at some point, I just can't help but think that we could see a shift, or maybe just a smaller group of people owning more of.
That's exactly what I mean.
That. Because like boomers, based off of what website you look it up, I believe that generation's like 1946 to 1962-ish. And so that means that the oldest one is 80 years old, right? The average life expectancy here, I believe, is 78. So that means that, well, the clock's ticking. Mm-hmm. There's just less and less people in these as you get younger, and people our age aren't having as many kids. In fact, a lot of my friends are bachelors. Exhibit A. Like and subscribe. But I have thoughts as to how it could go, and I will be very curious to see what actually happens, because there was a day at work. So when I eat lunch at work and I eat lunch at my desk, I often just go on YouTube and I just find
Financially focused.
something. Yeah, I have, yeah. But yes. I was watching a video from a guy that is a part of Dave Ramsey's team. He's the younger one. I think his name's George Camel, or it's a George and a K name, right? And he was going over the average 401k balance by age group, and these were statistics published from Fidelity. And for those that don't know, Fidelity is a gigantic 401k. They are a large firm, right? Mm-hmm. So you are hearing it from the source. And he was going over like an age range. It was maybe 45 to 55 or 40 to 50. But like the average 401k balance of somebody who's 50 was like 120 grand. And
50?
It was alarmingly low. And I don't remember exactly what it was, but I remember thinking, holy cow, if that's you, you're going to die at work, because you can't retire. Then still, he got to age like 65, and the average 401, which could be skewed if people are now retired and
drawing.
Yeah. So it was still like 180 grand, maybe 200 grand, and my jaw hit the floor.
Yeah, how long are you retiring for?
Yeah, I don't remember what exactly those numbers were and how he broke up those ages, but I do remember being shocked.
What year was this study-ish?
These were statistics from Fidelity published in 2021, so it's
recent.
Public knowledge. Yeah. And I thought, holy cow, most people are literally going to work until they die. And that scares the crap out of me. And that's all the more reason why, as we talked about earlier, when you're young, start putting away money. Mm-hmm. It's not hard to invest and save $100 a month. Just form good habits and stay healthy too.
It goes back to good habits.
It can be difficult to make a change, but I promise that when you do it and you stick to it, you will be happy, and like you'll be proud of yourself. Like, you know what, I did that.
Wasn't there it reminds me of like a Deion Sanders quote, I'm sure you know it,
but it was like a interview maybe after he signed a huge deal with the Cowboys, and he was like, when you look good, you feel good. When you feel good, you play good. When you play good, you paid good. And I was like, dang.
Yes.
I can relate to that, because like as I've gotten healthier and I've lost weight, and like this may sound ridiculous, but like I feel better about myself at work. I just feel better about myself, and I'm more confident in myself when I lead a meeting, or like when I meet a new client, or just I just feel more comfortable in my skin. That is just something that I think that people should want to feel, because it feels good, and it feels good to feel good.
I second that.
So yeah, I mean, this was a good time here, guys, and I appreciate the invite, and I like what you're doing, even though I'm not well versed in Bitcoin. I know that was the theme of season 1, and as I'm watching here, I'm like, geez, am I gonna turn into a crypto bro here?
Have you bought any since?
I've been holding like $500 of Bitcoin for years now, and I'm not well read on it, other than I think that crypto is too quick to react to like a tweet. Where the right person can make a tweet and it might double overnight, or it might go down by 100%.
Well, at least you have your share.
So,
At least you have some.
You got the right strategy. Just hold on to it.
yeah, I just continue putting away money for my kids in their 529s. I do $50 a month for each kid. Our savings goals are met. I just think that you just need to talk about it with your spouse. Life is better when you don't do stuff that pisses off your spouse. So, and I think we all know like what pisses them off. Guess what? Don't do it. So just talk about stuff, agree on it, and make it work. This was fun. This was my first ever podcast. I've been an avid listener since season 1, episode 1. I was followed on Instagram by your page, and I'm like, what the hell is this? I'm like, great, a spam account, another one. And then I'm like, wait a second, this might be legit.
Until they ask for your credit card number.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you taken our course yet?
Did you purchase auto parts in Miami? But and then I like saw your first post. I'm like, oh, they're doing a podcast. Look at this. And then I watched the first 2, and it's just Vern hunched over talking about Bitcoin.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, I'm not listening to Bitcoin talk for an hour every week. And then and then I started to leave comments on it, and I'm like, I need to like push them towards like stuff I do, like like putting away money for kids. Not like I'm gonna will you a Bitcoin, son. Don't lose this USB drive. I don't know if that's how it works or not. So
Well, we like all perspectives. It's about being well-rounded.
Yeah, and it sounds like you and your spouse are financially focused and are doing a great job. The folks here could learn a lot from you.
we should try to be. You know, I just think that it's important to not be stupid with your money.
It's important to have that vision. Like, what are you saving for? Is it for retirement or to buy a house? If you can cast that vision, it becomes more achievable. It gives you a purpose to putting that $50 away every month.
So just stay patient, maintain your course, and what I often say on my posts on Instagram is life comes at you fast, stay focused.